Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about presidential lines of succession. We're going to do this because of a whole bunch of recent events and the prospect of having two candidates, both of advanced age. That has led to a whole bunch of questions coming in. And the way they're phrased, it seems pretty apparent that most of them, if not all, are from Gen Z. Took us a minute to figure out why, and then we realized they weren't alive during the Cold War, so realistically, there's no reason for this to be common knowledge among that generation. So we will go through it. At the beginning, all of this is governed by the 25th Amendment to the Constitution. If the president is unable to fulfill the duties of the office, the vice president becomes president. The new president, the old vice president, then nominates a new vice president. The House and the Senate both confirm that person with a majority vote. And now you're back to the beginning. Now, if the president and vice president are both unavailable to serve for whatever reason at the same time, it goes to the Speaker of the House. Then it would go to the president pro tempore of the Senate. After that, it goes to Secretary of State. Then it goes to Treasury, Defense, the Attorney General, Interior, Agriculture, Commerce, Labor, Health and Human Services, HUD, Transportation, Energy, Education, Veterans Affairs, and then finally, Homeland Security. The only catch here is that if any of these people are not a natural-born citizen, well, it skips over them. If they're not a natural-born citizen, they cannot serve as president. So that they get skipped. Now, my understanding is that if this list was to be exhausted, there are COG plans, continuity of government plans, that extend this list even further. There is zero reason to worry about this process. It is pretty well outlined. Now, the one thing that should probably be talked about more often is that these cabinet positions, they are in line for the presidency. That's something that should probably be discussed when people are being confirmed. You do not want a president who hands out cabinet positions as political favors and then runs with a kitchen cabinet made up of family members. Because they are, in fact, in line for the presidency. And understand, if it ever gets to that point, if something occurs and we're looking at one of the cabinet members assuming the presidency, understand that things have gone sideways. The reason people who were alive during the Cold War know this is because it was discussed pretty often, because of the risk of a strike on D.C. As that risk fell from public consciousness, I guess this didn't get discussed very often, even though I think there was like a TV show based on this premise. It's something to keep in mind, because if something unthinkable was to occur, that person is thrust into that office at a very inopportune time. There's not a lot of time to, learn as you go, not a lot of on-the-job training, because if it occurs, something really, really bad happened. Your most likely person after, the first four is the Secretary of State. The odds are that they will probably be around because they travel a lot, so they're not always in D.C. But that's the answer. Again, as far as the system in place for the transfer of executive authority, it's there. It's very well outlined. It's been around since the Cold War. Nothing to really worry about there. However, the fact that this part isn't really considered during confirmations or during nominations more frequently. That's probably something that should change. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.